So this is lecture 34, going to be talking about public health and the energy ladder. So infant mortality reduction and natural gas adoption in Turkey, the country, not the animal. This, I believe, is a natural gas pipeline going somewhere. This ain't Beverly Hills. Here's another pipeline, and some creatures are trying to walk their way through it. This is infrastructure being placed to connect some exporter of natural gas with some consumer of natural gas. So we all know that in the developing world, people want air conditioning, refrigeration, if they can afford it, computers, recharging cell phones, everything we have in the United States and take for granted. And if 7 billion people aspire to all live like this as the middle class grows in these countries, this achievement of the American dream as the world's dream is going to add up to a heck of a lot of electricity consumption. And this could have significant environmental implications if this electricity is generated using dirty coal. Take a look at this graph. So time on the x-axis goes from 1982 till the present, and on the vertical axis is energy consumption. In this case, the units are tons of oil equivalent. And just look at this, it more than doubles in 20 years, and this just shows you compound growth, and this could even accelerate. So you see the recession of 2008 there, but it barely moves the trend line, and we're just going to continue to see this energy growth. And this could, while energy consumption has large benefits, it also imposes social costs if we produce the energy. If it's fossil fuels, gasoline and coal, then there's likely to be significant negative environmental externalities. We all know that coal-fired electric utilities are dirty. They produce a whole variety of local and global pollutants. My friend and co-author Lucas Davis of UC Berkeley wrote a very nice 2011 Review of Economics and Statistics paper where he details many of these negative externalities. And the key point for this quick lecture is if we substitute from coal to natural gas is a much cleaner alternative on a number of dimensions than our coal-fired power plants. If we heat homes with natural gas, if we cook with them, if we use natural gas for cars rather than using gasoline, and if we have natural gas power plants versus coal-fired power plants, much lower local air pollution and much lower greenhouse gas emissions for the same amount of electricity and energy generated. So what I really want to talk about today is this new NBR paper by 3 economists who I don't know. And you can download a copy of this paper at this address. And it has the title, Air Pollution and Infant Mortality, Evidence from the Expansion of Natural Gas Infrastructure. And this paper is set in Turkey, a country I'd like to visit at some point. Here's the paper's key idea, and this may be my last slide. What's real neat about their paper is for exogenous reasons across Turkey, different geographic areas, so the equivalent of our states, different geographic areas experienced access to natural gas at different points in time. So you can think of a pipeline being finished in different parts of the country at different times, granting access. And the authors use a sophisticated statistical approach to exploit this fact that different parts of the country in different years gained access to natural gas. And the third bullet point is the key causality chain. Their story is as a geographic region gains access to natural gas, that because of an opportunity cost story, that the region substitutes to natural gas from some dirtier fuel, that lowers local air pollution. And when air pollution improves in these areas that now have access to natural gas, that this in turn lowers infant mortality. And so by the chain rule, their argument is that natural gas access lowers infant mortality. This is the classic energy ladder as you move from dirty fuels to cleaner fuels, that there's significant environmental benefits. And to the credit of these authors, they measure these benefits in this paper and show that they're large. An unintended consequence of adopting natural gas is lower infant mortality. That's a fantastic thing, and it's highly likely that this study has external validity, that their finding would play out in other developing nations, like in Egypt or in South America or in Southeast Asia, if these nations embrace natural gas. So this is an exciting finding about how natural gas, which is so much more prevalent now and with improved engineering techniques, can improve the public health of a society so that it can have economic growth without the same environmental degradation. And so my final slide, and I forgot this was here. In healthcare, President Obama, with his Obamacare and healthcare legislation, seeks to bend the curve. He wants to provide healthcare, but at lower cost to society. What this paper about Turkey and natural gas highlights is, in a similar spirit, we as environmental economists continue to seek out how do we have the win-win of economic growth without traditional pollution increasing. In the past, an unintended consequence of developing countries like China getting richer was extreme pollution because they were so reliant on coal. But natural gas can bend this curve, as we see in the case of Turkey, of having economic development in a region with much less pollution and with reduced infant mortality. And I think that's terrific, and this is free market environmentalism at work.